following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
Is it not possible that those who reincarnate could reincarnate outside of your reach? Do you just have to
of
let
course.
them
Oh,
live
of
their
course.
lives?
Of course. Different schools and different monasteries in different areas will look there, but can't be everywhere. Like America, have not much reach there. Could be maybe great wise monk, he will die and get reincarnated in America or Germany. Can't get to them there, so they live a life and maybe one day reincarnate again somewhere where they can be found. It's how Americans say, all good.
Yes, I have a friend that we have not touched on it much, but she has memories of reincarnation. Who lives in America?
Must be very strong soul to be able to remember a past rise. Can only think of very few I know who would do that kind of thing.
Yes, she is a strong person.
Oh, well, that is certainly very promising. She should get in contact with the monasteries in America to fight off the great evil.
This great evil you spoke about.
So big, it evil.
There are rules in place, though. A tournament?
What? I do not understand what you say.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Could you describe it to me?
We call it Leviathan. It's all-consuming. But I don't know how to put to you. Very bad.
Yes.
Smiles and nods. There it is. There it is. I found the fucking document I've been looking for this whole time.
Okay.
Just give me a moment here, sorry.
Yeah.
I did not actually think this would be the first place you went.
It seemed like a chill place to go.
If you like backflips. So yeah, he will explain that they believe that a person who has been reincarnated with a strong soul has their body strengthened as well. And
okay.
that is why there are exceptional individuals. So like the more reincarnations you have with a strong soul, the more powerful you would be in this fight. He seems pretty chill with the idea of people being born again outside of their reach, because it's like, yeah, well, they'll just have more lives and experiences to stack up, because everything will just come back one day.
Oh, okay.
Soul energy can be stolen by the evil, and that would be bad.
Now, you say soul energy. There are beings that exist that claim souls in exchange for favors. correct?
Oh, that is very bad. I should not give away soul energy. Really, not yours to give.
It's not even that you intentionally give it away. It could be that it asks you something, and if you say yes, or if you say that you want something in its presence, that's confirmation enough for it to claim, if you know what I mean.
Thief of power. Thief of power is worse bad.
How does one deal with it, though?
Through fortitude and willingness to resist, one remains pure in soul. If one makes odd offer, then one who is truly in balance has no need to be exploited.
But further than that, that being itself is a problem, though. How would you deal with such a being?
I have not thought on that. I will... Oh, fuck. I have in fact got the names backwards.
Oh?
Yeah, the Hisei is a corruption of Hisashi, which is supposed to be the red one. So, if you could just get a pen and strike through that. This is the Kameo.
Oh, okay, cool.
Something about this whole thing has been in my head as, like, wrong.
Ah, yeah, that's fair.
So, this would be the Kayo. K-A-Y-O. Because it's a corrupted evolved term. Perhaps these questions would be better put to the abbot.
I would be happy to speak to him.
Oh, okay. He will point over to a young kid who is just doing standing backflips in a corner.
I'll move over to the child.
Child will stop backflipping as you come into range and just sort of look at you with bright, inquisitive eyes. And then he'll like move off the mat and sit down cross-legged and invite you to sit with him.
I will sit with him.
It's been a long time since we last met, World Destroyer. Don't worry though, I'm sure you'll make up for it. All things come back to balance in time.
It is truly a mistake I don't think one could ever make up for, but I endeavor to try.
That's all anyone could be asked to do. Demanding perfection is only going to lead down a path of darkness. You have questions, I can tell, but you're here to solve questions. Interesting.
Yes, we have a problem in my town with a
Daojin. The Wishmaster has come again, but it was not supposed to happen this time. Every few hundred years it returns to the world to test the souls of men and steal their power. It is a test, and it must be sealed back away again. The world was not meant to end that way.
I do not know how to deal with such a thing.
You are a man who likes to try and solve all of the problems. But this is not your problem to solve, Thomas. It's written on your name tag.
Yes.
You need to learn to have faith in others. I realize that your life lessons have been very hard, and that your ultimately destructive choices weigh upon you. But one of the things you need to learn is that every part of a clock needs to work together for the hands to go around. Not one cog can do it all itself. Was that a modern enough analogy? I don't really understand technical things.
Well, I appreciate the metaphor. You must understand that that is a difficult thing to grasp.
Of course. Especially when one is motivated with the need to fight against great evil. I understand that more than most other people you will meet.
You said we met before.
Well, not in these bodies.
No?
This body will be dead before your great war that no longer happens in the future.
Why is that?
It is the natural cycle of things. I think it will be an accidental death, but I'm not a future teller.
But do you not strive to prevent such a thing? If what you're trying to do is build up
that
soul energy over generations.
That death will allow me to reincarnate again. And while immediate suicide gains you nothing, so long as I've had enough experiences by that point, I will only grow stronger in the long run for it. I think I will die that way, but like I said, I can't tell the future. What's more important is what you plan to do with this go-round. You've kind of had 2 stabs at this. And unfortunately, that means that because of what you've done, there's kind of a double up in the soul department.
Oh?
Well, think about it. You transfer yourself back still housing the soul of Thomas Drake. But there's already a Thomas Drake you supplanted into. What did you think you displaced?
I didn't really buy into a lot of Spectra's talk about souls, and she never mentioned mine specifically as being older, so I didn't think of it, if I'm being honest.
I understand that. I mean, maybe we are interpreting this in an overly spiritual and religious way. Think of it more as energy. I don't really know a lot about technical things, but you have to admit that there's got to be more to it than just neurochemical reactions. After all, the brain you slipped into was the exact same one, but you somehow retained your purpose and drive an older perspective.
And knowledge, yes.
How's that working out? Has it brought you anything of happiness, or has it just been suffering?
Certainly hasn't brought me much happiness.
At least your dad's alive.
That is something of worth.
I think you're in the right place, although I'd still stop by Tibet on the way home. There's a lot of contemplation to be done here. Also fighting. You gotta like that. Perhaps you should spend some time at the various fighting dojos in town. It would do well for others to fight someone who has a disability, such as yours, and they can learn a harsh lesson.
That may be worthwhile.
Remember, even in defeat we still win, because of the experience of defeat.
That is a difficult precept to grasp, I hope you can appreciate.
I can. It took me a long time. I realize I'm 11. But I have a certain advantage.
Yes, Spectra is much the same. I assume you know about her.
Spectra? I do not. Who is Spectra?
Evan Burke? That might not be a helpful name for you.
It kind of isn't. Names are really transitory. That's why I don't have one. They just call me the Abbot. Kind of a pompous name, though. Why couldn't my name be like Rocket Laser? Yeah. Sorry, I'm 11.
No, it's fine. She's just very tied into the Cameo organization. She has knowledge about past happenings.
Wait. Oh, of course. The Chosen One, the Originator, whatever you want to call her. She is in America.
Yes.
We've recently had an encounter with the Temple Guardian.
Oh?
It's an internal matter. Nothing to concern you, I'm sure.
No. So when you mentioned I displaced the soul of the Thomas Drake that inhabited this body, what?
Not so much
happens
replaced,
then?
but pushed it out. Well, it would be detached. Who knows where it is? It's probably confused and alone, unless it's a particularly strong soul, which it may or may not be.
Should I feel obligated to?
I'm not sure what you could do. How would you even find it with your science?
Well, I would have to rely on Spectra, obviously.
See? We're relying on others already. Maybe you would be able to do something, but if you can't, you should let it go. Instead, put its sacrifice to good use. I sure would like to still have a planet.
Yes. Well, the incident with Tyrannon recently was a scare, wasn't it?
The what?
Oh. No, nothing. Sorry. I've been dealing with a lot of people recently. I've gotten mixed up on things.
That's understandable. You are living two lives.
I will be honest, I don't know how to sit back and let others do things I think I can do. As easy as it can be to assess the flaws in one's character, it is not simple to solve them or to know what the solution is. Do you understand?
I believe I do. But I would offer forth that while it is noble and good to help others and do things they cannot do, by doing that too much, you are depriving them of their opportunity to grow. Had someone else done everything for you, you would not be in the position where you can do everything for someone. The hard part is, of course, learning when to do which. Sometimes leaving someone to do something on their own can result in a disaster. Other times not.
Yes.
Always something. I realize that's unhelpful.
But when faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage, does it not?
Sometimes the noblest thing is to understand that others must be free to make some mistakes for themselves. Wisdom comes in as to knowing which mistakes to allow.
Is it wrong just to not want to see people suffer again?
It is not wrong to want that. Others' suffering is maybe necessary, but you should not want it, or desire it, or even take joy in it, unless they're a dick. Sorry, I'm 11.
Children don't speak like that.
Children do not. Children do, however, find any old excuse they can grab to excuse their perturbing behavior.
I don't think that that want is limited to children, unfortunately.
No, it is not. You have a lot to dwell on. That's good. You need something to fill in your free time.
Well, I'm also trying to solve a viral epidemic.
I wish I could help you with that.
To genocide an entire race of individuals, but yes, something else in my free time is a positive experience, I think.
It's good that you've already learned that you can't just work single-mindedly towards a thing. It ultimately leads to destruction. Not of globes or worlds, but of yourself and your relationships with others. Also, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy?
I don't know that that was necessarily the lesson to take from that particular work, but it is a reasonable thing to say here, maybe.
A well-read man is a blessing to those around him, and a curse. Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde is a fantastic poet.
Is there anything else I can be unhelpful with?
No, not really. I mean, I have questions that I cannot put words to, and I don't think you can help me with those.
Ultimately, you have moved out here to solve these matters on your own.
Yes. I just hope it's the right answer. How would I...
I'm nodding like you can see me, sorry.
Yeah. The problem is, how would I reconcile? What if something happens in my absence that I could have resolved? You understand what I mean? How...
You wish to be everywhere at once. You feel your fellows are so inept that they must depend upon you completely?
It's not what I'm saying. They have strengths I do not, but they also have weaknesses I do not.
As do you. At some point, I will rephrase this from what I intended to say, because I feel it will only be taken poorly. You have an advantage in that you've already done all of the development that they are in the middle of. By coming in to subvert that development, you can only lead to future harm for them, while you may achieve the result you want. A small time away will allow them to gain some of that development. Then, perhaps later, when you return, they will be able to contribute more to your goals, and you will be able to trust them more with theirs.
Please specify how you would like to proceed, sir.
I experienced was just suffering, though. That's not what I would wish upon.
That's why you wish to change the world.
Well, certainly. Events are interesting through time, aren't they?
I've always thought so.
Even positive changes. Changes I think were positive. No gene factor bomb is perhaps the most positive thing I could have imagined doing for this world, and yet it brought the Imperium with it.
I will impart a truth to you that you will not understand yet, and perhaps never understand in this life, not to the fullest extent. But the universe is a place of balance. That's it.
Well, I certainly don't understand it.
That's okay.
You know, I think I like Western philosophy a lot more than Oriental philosophy.
I certainly like cheeseburgers more than rice.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
Such as it is. I'm sure you have the necessary intellect and wisdom to look within yourself and find a path forward.
I hope you are right.
I hope I'm right too. People like being right. But there are many people around who you can ask things of. Infinite diversity and infinite combinations is the wonder of the universe. And you should take advantage of it while you can.
Yes. I suppose it would help if I learned the language first.
Maybe. There's a surprisingly high number of English speakers in this village.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Contrivance.
The temple's influence, then?
Well, the Dailin Monastery is just up that incredibly tall hill that for some reason doesn't look as tall as it should. Fighters from all over the world come there to die.
To die?
The final lessons must be learned. Not many people survive those lessons.
Sounds like an interesting place.
And of course, perhaps you can find the Manmo Temple.
What would I find there?
I don't know. I've never found it.
Even you?
Well, I'm 11.
That is a convenient excuse.
I like it.
You've left me much to dwell on.
I think I've left you with no more to dwell on than you were already dwelling on.
Perhaps brought some of it to the forefront.
Finger guns.
Okay.
That probably took
yeah.
about an hour.
Yeah, it sure did. I think I've rolled 2 dice this whole time, which is fine.
I think I've
Which
rolled
is
more
good,
dice
actually.
than you have.
Yes, yeah, that's probably true. I'm going to head to the there's like a weaponsmith, right? It's
You're
like-
really asking
like
two
an artisan.
questions. You're really asking two
'Cause it's like
questions there.
okay. Yeah.
By weaponsmiths, what do you mean? Do you mean like wizened old swordmaster hermit who only makes like legendary blades? Or do you mean like I can bang some iron into a sword shape?
Oh, I mean, like, the former is, like, definitely preferable, right?
I don't think you've been here long enough to have found that yet. Even
That's
though
fair.
you do know where it is, technically, because you've got it on the map there. But, like, you haven't, like, been around long enough to hear the rumors.
Yes,
But
yeah.
there is
Well, I mean,
the Huang Forge is basically where a lot of people make stuff. And if you want to go into the Low Town, there's the Kung Jia, which sells farming supplies and weapons.
well, there's, like, an artisan's guild, right?
Oh, yes.
It's like...
That
Yeah.
is the Crafters Guild. They also work with Huang Forge, which is like if you want metal things done.
Oh, that's 7. That is like...
Seven
that
is
7
the
looks like the... Yeah, the Japanese food symbol. so I was confused. But yeah.
It's the font I've chosen is very cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll head there and find a weapon merchant because I want to. Well, I'll just go talk to them first, I suppose.
Okay, cool. I've been waiting for this. Oh man, if I could just find. Okay, right. So there's a bunch of like crafters like working inside the building. Like you see, like a weaver, like a wood carver, that sort of thing. And there's also like some display areas from like the forge and that sort of thing. And there's a guy at the front who'll just walk up to you before you get too far in, and he is neatly dressed. If you've imagined like sort of like a Red Ribbon Army General Tao style outfit, but without the goggles, obviously.
Oh, okay. Does he have a Fu Manchu mustache? Does everyone have a Fu Manchu mustache?
They do if you want.
Oh, okay. That's good. Maybe not everyone.
This guy certainly does.
Yes. Okay.
He's got one hand tucked behind him and the other one sort of bent at the wrist palm upwards, like elbow tucked into his waist in that sort of pose. He glides up to you and he's like, "Hurrah! I am Ree. I am the salesman and guild. How you say in your devil language? Satan. I am the Satan here." Why is there always someone at the door when I'm busy?
Oh, we need to take a sip?
No, Shannon's home.
Okay. Firstly, I was looking at doing an inquiry. I thought this would be the best place.
It is best place!
Hmm.
I can help you with everything you need.
I wanted to look at blades.
Oh, blades. Yes, come this way. Huang Forge is a most famous forge in village. Many forges and master craftsmen. Here, and then there's like a rack with some swords on it. The best one there's a Dao.
Okay.
Basically a Chinese broadsword.
The main thing I want to check is like quality because I have a sword cane. Like my cane is a sword, and there's a limit on what technology is allowed. You know what I mean? I want to check that like
they have iron blades.
They have iron blades.
There's some in bronze. They don't have steel.
Okay.
But you know, steel from the naked eye doesn't technically look that much different from this stuff. I mean, like, you know, you could probably get away with it. Just say it's really good. Like, there was a thing back in the days when they would say, like, "Oh, this is the good steel blade." What they actually meant was it's iron. They called it steel because steel was like, this is it means good. It's you know how like turbo came to just mean fast. Or no, was it nitro? Yeah. Nitro just came to mean like, oh, explosive, cool. It was short for nitrous, but like so, it's like that. They used the word. I know it's that way in Europe, so I'm extending it everywhere else. I didn't really specialize.
Yeah, I mean, even with like Damascus steel, it's most likely just to have been approximately what modern day high quality, like carbon steel is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but they didn't know how to make it then.
Yeah. Also,
so there are a lot of rumors around fine steels.
Also, Damascus steel was made in India.
Yes,
and just marketed in.
Yeah. I mean, there are some ridiculous rumors about Damascus steel that you could, like, about how, like, flexible but also durable it was.
Hyperbole, mostly.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, it sounds like an argument. Hang on a minute, it sounds like an argument. Hang on a minute, it sounds like an argument. Hang on a minute, it sounds like an argument. Hang on a minute.